High school sports, we've got it covered. Overtime starts now.
Hello and welcome to Overtime, your Friday night home for high school football in the Rockford area. I'm Regan Holgate.
And I'm Scott Leber. The final night of the regular season is in the books. What a finish we have for you as we look at the teams that have slid into the playoffs and those that just might have missed out.
We'll also see if Stillman Valley and Lena Winslow could complete perfect regular seasons. And there were two blockbuster games in Sycamore and Rochelle tonight where conference championships were up for grabs. We'll have all of that action.
And in our Spotlight segment, I catch up with East football player Prentice Wynn. He was one of the victims who survived in the mass shooting in Don Carter Lanes a couple years ago. We're going to start with the Nick 10. The wild race for the top that has kept us riveted the last few weeks is now over.
A big piece of the puzzle was put in place tonight at Guilford Swanson Stadium. That's where the 6-2 Vikings hosted 7-1 Belvedere North in our game of the week. Both teams were looking to rebound from tough losses last weekend, and both teams still had a shot at claiming a piece of the Nick 10 championship. The Vikings scored 14 early on. Here we are at the end of the second. Gregory Hansard with the pick to end the half. I mean, that's a way to go into the second half. Big stuff all night long from this Guilford defense. James Benson on an absolute heater all night. Nico Bertolino really not able to make those big plays like we've seen all season, but he would get a nice pickup right here, and that would be a first down. Score is still 14-0, by the way. Here's Benson again. This time stuffs up Maddox Gillenswan for the sack. Fourth quarter now. Blue Thunder with the ball. It'll be a little chip to Bertolino, and he finally has space for the first time all game, and he's going to take it all the way home for Belvedere North's first points of the game. Guilford just trying to hang on. And it'll be a fumbled snap, but Skylar Wolf recovers. He's scrambling, and he's going to lob one out there and has LaDamian Hoffman with a sick catch, and that'll be a first down. But you got to keep running out the clock, boys, and Belvedere North will get the ball back. This throw goes to Bertolino on the edge, and it looks like he's going to go. He has all the space, but he steps out of bounds with 20 seconds left on the clock. And Guilford's defense coming in clutch once again with the stop, and they hold on to win this one 14-7.
I don't know what to say, that's a really great team over there. So them boys played out hard, but I think we wanted it more. That's the only reason why we won.
Our O-line, our D-line, they're both probably the most physical lines in the Nick 10, and it's just crazy to think that we're finally 7-2.
They're a heck of a team and a heck of a program. It's the gold standard of the Nick 10, man. And just to be able to come here and fight like we did like last week, but now come on top, that's huge for us.
Let's welcome in our gold standard in the Nick 10, right? Our analyst, Tim Bailey. Tim, you had a front row view of this game today on the field, and you heard Coach Cap say it right there, that this team fought so hard, and more specifically, his defense, once again, the main driver in this win.
Absolutely. He said it right. I mean, defense came up big for Guilford tonight. No one really ever talks about the defense as they should. Offense gets all the shine. But defensively, what Guilford actually showed tonight was phenomenal. They showed a lot of zeal. They showed a lot of grit. They flowed well to the football. And to really put the brakes on a really good offense like a Belvedere North has, that's saying a lot about Guilford's defense.
And Tim, it's not just one guy that's going to make a difference, but you could kind of feel the shift this offense has made this week with Skylar Wolf now back on the field for the Vikings.
Yeah, the young man's back. He did a great job. You can tell his presence was really missed last week. His presence was really there tonight in the stadium, and he played well, came out, made some good reads, made some good throws, really just facilitated that offense as a quarterback is supposed to do. He's that general, and it showed tonight. They missed him last week, but to have him back in action this week before they step into the playoffs next week was a huge plus, but he played well.
And Belvedere North really not able to move the ball tonight, which hurt them, but I think it was the turnovers that cost them more in this game.
Yeah, the turnovers. I mean, in the first half, Guilford caused 4 turnovers, which really cost Belvedere North. And, like I said before, I mean, the way Belvedere North's defense flowed tonight to the ball, I'm not surprised that they created these types of turnovers, but Belvedere North just really couldn't get that offense to click. They didn't really go to Bertolino like they probably should have in the first half. I think he only touched the ball like twice in the first half compared to what he did in the second half. On the sideline, I'm scratching my head. I'm like, okay, well, where's Bertolino in the first half? And then you see him in the second half, and you see here in the clip here. I mean, again, you're looking at probably the fastest kid in the Nick 10. Why isn't he getting the ball in the first half is where my brain was. But, Guilford did a phenomenal job of just, putting the brakes on them.
All right, Tim, we're going to get right back to you in just a minute here. Let's check out tonight's other Nick 10 games. Let's take you to Freeport, where the Pretzels were taking on Boylan. Titans trying to grab the Nick 10 title. Connor Dennis throws, hits Jamar Johnson in stride, who shrugs off a pretzel, and he's got the wheels to take it all the way. Touchdown for the Boylan Titans. Now over to Freeport with the football. Xavier Segner passing, rolling right. He'll hit his receiver, but it's ripped away by the man who scored the touchdown in the last play, Jamar Johnson. That's a pick right there. Dennis back to pass again, looks to his right, finds Dom Spera in the end zone. It was 41-12 at that point in the fourth quarter. Freeport showing some fight, playing for pride. Segner going to scramble, throws over the middle, finds Carson Price for a big gain. Segner looking for more, throws again after buying a little time, and he's going to hook up with Bryce Tessendorf for the touchdown, but it was too little too late for the Pretzels. Boylan beats Freeport 41-20. The Titans are Nick 10 champs.
Also in the Nick 10, Hononegah beat Auburn 44-12, while Harlem beat Belvedere 43-6. And Jefferson takes East in overtime, 38-32. The final Nick 10 standings look like this. Boylan is the Nick 10 champion at 8-1. Then there's a three-way tie for second. Belvedere North, Hononegah, and Guilford are all 7-2. Harlem takes fifth place at 6-3. And let's bring in Tim again. Tim, you said right here before the season started that you thought the Boylan Titans would win the Nick 10 and go undefeated. And you were pretty close. 8-1. I'll give it to you. I will.
I'll take it. They'll take it. I'll take it.
But were the Titans everything that you thought they would be this season?
I would have to say, yeah, they were. What they did offensively, what the expectations were coming in, how well were they going to be offense? What were their running backs going to look like? What was their quarterback going to look like? What was their line going to look like? What was the play calling going to look like? I would have to say yes. They were as advertised, both on offense and defense. Congratulations to the Titan Nation. They worked hard. To come off a big loss like they did with Belvedere North and then just go on a tear through the rest of the conference, the remainder of the 6 weeks, shows you what type of team Boylan is. And, I wish them well in the playoffs. But, yes, they are the Nick 10 champs.
So, Tim, we are going to have 5 Nick 10 teams in the playoffs. Let's put those up on the screen right now. Once again, they are Boylan, Belvedere North, Hononegah, Guilford, and Harlem. The Nick 10 also had 5 teams in last year. 4 of those same teams got in. The one difference is Guilford didn't make it last year and East did. Tim, in general, in a brief amount of time, how good of a year has it been for the Nick 10? And can some of these teams do damage in the playoffs?
Well, first of all, it's been a great year here in the Nick 10. I think, just looking at this board here, I think all these teams have a shot to actually win their first round. I really do. And it would be wonderful for us to be able to see 5 teams go on and win that first game. Guilford, though, but I tell you, if we had an award to give,
I would not want to play Guilford.
Exactly. If we had an award to give the most improved team, the Vikings are my number 1 pick. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. I mean, they're unequivocally the most improved team in the conference this year.
Yeah, they'll hit you in the mouth, as everybody found out this year. All right, thanks, Tim. Next week at this time, we're going to have you right back here. We'll be talking playoff football with you once again, all right?
Appreciate it, guys.
All right, we're back to the highlights next in the Big Northern Conference.
We'll see who won a key battle between Lutheran and Winnebago, and could the Stillman Valley Cardinals claim the conference championship all to themselves?
Every team's goal is to go 1-0 every week. Few teams make it through an entire season doing just that.
The Stillman Valley Cardinals did go 1-0 every week through the first 8 weeks. Could they do it again tonight and complete a perfect regular season? Taylor Castro covered their game for us tonight in Stillman Valley. Hi, Taylor.
Hi, guys. This season started with the Cardinals facing and edging a powerful conference rival, the Byron Tigers. They won that game in overtime. Tonight, they finished up against another very strong conference rival, Genoa Kingston. The Cogs came into the game with a record of 6-2. Here they are trying for a 2-point conversion, but it's going to be Braden Engel to snag it in the end zone. The Cardinals were really fired up after that one, and it showed on defense. Ethan Engelkins with some help from Engel again to stop what could have been a big run for Genoa Kingston. Stillman Valley defense doing what it's done all season. This time it's Johnny DeClerc getting past the Cogs O-line with ease for the sack. But you know what? Kingston showed they have some defense too. It didn't take long for the tables to turn, and Connor Grimm gets a hold of the Cardinals quarterback, and then everyone else joins in to help. Great teamwork there. But back to offense now. Look at this return on the kickoff from Porter Needs. He snags it no problem and just books it. He nearly makes it to the 40-yard line before he stopped. What a battle this one was. It went down to the wire, but the Cogs came out on top. Genoa Kingston beat Stillman Valley 32-28. Genoa Kingston has given Stillman Valley trouble in recent years, so that continued tonight. Reagan and Scott.
Thanks, Taylor. So could the Byron Tigers take advantage of Stillman Valley's loss and tie the Cardinals for the Big Northern Championship?
They were home hosting 1-7 Rockford Christian, and the Tigers wasted no time getting started on both ends of the ball in this one. Braylon Kilduff tackling Rockford Christian's quarterback. Hey, the ball's loose, and recovered by Jacob Ross to give Byron control. Byron QB Braden Smith, he's been wonderful in recent weeks. Fakes the handoff, throws the long pass. Kai Aiken is right there to hold it in for the TD. Tiger offense dominant, but the defense deserving credit. Kyle Jones going to stop the run here. He had some help on the play. And the Byron defense getting it done as a group here. A bunch of defenders will combine to sack the QB. Boy, it's a rough night for that Rockford Christian offense. Byron winning this one with ease, 62-0. So yes, Byron and Stillman Valley are Big Northern co-champs.
In another key Big Northern game, Rockford Lutheran took on Winnebago. The Crusaders were looking to become eligible for the playoffs with a 5th win. The Indians were aiming for a 6th win that would lock up their playoff spot. First quarter, King Hughes will find Jack Bamer in the middle. He'll put a nice run on that one, and that'll be a Lutheran first down. 4th down now for the Crusaders. Hughes finding Bamer again, but he'll get stopped short by Kendrick Meter. Turnover on downs there. Indians couldn't convert, though, and on that drive, but they'll get the ball back. Brandon Wiggin on the carry here, and he'll put the Indians in scoring position. He was doing that all night for them. And then it'll be Alec Weevil on the keeper for the first score of the game. But Lutheran beats Winnebago 21-7. Also in the Big Northern, Dixon beat Rock Falls 49-0, and North Boone takes Oregon 46-20.
So here's how the Big Northern shapes up for the playoffs. 6 teams are likely in. Stillman Valley and Byron will be high seeds. Genoa Kingston is in, so is 6-3 Dixon, and we believe both Winnebago and Lutheran with that win at Bago going to get in most likely those teams with 5-4 records. Coming up in a bit, our spotlight story on East football player and shooting survivor Prentice Wynn. But up next, it's NUIC action, the big Forest and Lee Wynn rivalry.
And Rochelle and Sycamore welcome 2 very strong conference rivals into their houses. Any discussion of great football rivalries in our area has to include Lena Winslow against Forreston.
They have had some epic battles over the years in the regular season and in the playoffs. The Panthers were trying to complete a perfect regular season and clinch the NUIC championship outright as they met tonight in Forreston. First quarter, Cardinals with the ball in the red zone. Brock Smith keeping it and punching it in there. Touchdown, Forreston. So how would the Panthers respond to that? The kickoff will be taken by Jake Zeal. He's got wheels. Down the sideline, shoving off defenders, in for the TD. Forreston still led, though, 8-6. Now, after forcing a punt in the second quarter, Lee Wynn gets the ball back. Duncan Neville finds room on the right side, and he will explode for a big gain on that play. Still the Panthers' ball. Neville will get it again out to the right, gets some daylight, and gets into the end zone for 6, and he was fired up. Going for 2 now. The handoff goes to Gage Dunker, who muscles in. 14-8 Panthers at the half. Lee Wynn would go on to win, staying unbeaten, defeating Forreston 28-14.
There was another big game at Dakota. The Indians hosted Fulton. The Indians were looking for a 6th win that would ensure a playoff spot. Starting with the kickoff, Indians squib kick it. Balin Damhoff picks it up and will find nothing but the end zone in sight for the first touchdown of the game. I mean, that's a way to start a game. Dakota on their possession just inside the red zone. Caden Niedermeyer rolls out and fumbles the football. Indians recover for the turnover there. Indians back with the ball now. Niedermeyer composes and tosses the ball to Adrian Ararano. He sprints the sidelines and he'll get in for the score. Dakota now on the 2-point conversion. Niedermeyer tries to power this one through on the keeper, but he's stopped short. 7-6, Steamers still stay with the lead. Fulton has the ball back now, drawing up some play action by Braden Dykstra, and Dykstra throws up to the corner, and he has Demhoff to make the beautiful catch for the 15-yard touchdown. Fulton beats Dakota 48-26. Also in the Northwest Upstate Illini Conference, Tupek beat Stockton 41-12, and Galena beat West Carroll 67-0. 5 NUIC teams could be playoff bound. Lena Winslow, Fulton, and Dupek for sure. Forreston and Dakota most likely at 5-4, but we will see tomorrow night when the pairings come out.
There was a big game in Rochelle tonight. The 7-1 Hubs hosted 8-0 Richmond Burton. Hubs were hoping to win and tie the Rockets for the Kishwaukee River Interstate 8 Blue Championship. Early in the third quarter, Garrett Gensler gets the handoff for the Hubs. He will power in for the touchdown. He's having a great season, rushed for over 1,400 yards. Gensler here for 2. He is in again, but the Hubs trailed at that point 28-14. Richmond Burton likes to pound the ball on the ground with this guy, Steven Siegel. There he goes. And then the Rockets will surprise you with a pass. Joe Miller throwing a strike for the TD. It was 34-14 Rockets, but the Hubs didn't quit. Trey Taft on the carry, slips between 2 defenders, cuts back, and he has a lot of grass ahead of him. He'll be brought down at the 23. Moments later, it's Gensler again, getting into the end zone for another touchdown. Richmond Burton, they'll beat Rochelle 41-20. The Hubs finished the regular season 7-2. In Sycamore, it was the 8-0 Spartans hosting 7-1 Morris for the Kishwaukee River Interstate 8 White Championship. Love the video scoreboard down there in Sycamore. It is unbelievable. All right, love the football team, too. Eli Meyer here dumping it off to Joey Paleo, showing some shifty moves there by the Sycamore running back. Meyer then will dump it off to another running back, junior Tyler Curtis. He gets punished, but as he signals here, he's got himself a first down. Same drive, Meyer hands it off to a third back, Zach Crawford. And watch him just keep fighting and fighting until he's in for the touchdown. Where is he? There he is. 7-0 Spartans. On their next drive, Meyer will throw over the middle to his biggest and best target, sophomore Brooke Gotcher. He's inside the 30. Curtis would finish off that drive, hurling his body over the line. The Spartans finished the regular season 9-0. They defeated Morris 28-0. In 8-man football, Biggsville West Central beat Amboy 68-30, and Polo beat Ackman 66-22, and Hiawatha defeated Alden Hebron 56-28.
Up next, it's our Overtime Spotlight segment.
We're going to meet one Rockford football player who survived one of the most horrific shooting incidents in this city's history. High school football players deal with adversity from time to time, tough losses and injuries, but one football player currently on the East E-Rabs varsity team found himself a couple years ago in the middle of one of the darkest nights in Rockford's history.
I like football. It's a getaway for me, and it just became like a, like something you get addicted to, and I just put my love in the sport.
Prentice Wynn is a junior cornerback and kick returner for the E-Rabs. He's the kind of player a coach can appreciate.
A kid like Prentice, who is about as good of a kid as you're going to get, character-wise, doesn't miss anything, works his tail end off every chance. He's going to give you 110%.
But less than 2 years ago, this teenager was in the middle of a very dark moment.
3 are dead and 3 wounded at Don Carter Lanes this evening.
Wynn was in Don Carter Lanes on East State Street, December 26, 2020, the night after Christmas. That's when a shooter entered the establishment with a gun and started firing. 3 people died, 3 were injured. Wynn was one of the 3 who were injured. How often do you think about that night?
I think about that night heavily a lot.
Do you have nightmares?
Yeah, sometimes.
Responding officers came to the scene. Calls were coming in. There was multiple victims.
What were you doing at the bowling alley that night?
It was me and my friend Kamaje, and we was there just getting food. It was his last day out here, because he didn't live out here at the time, so we just wanted to enjoy the night. I was waiting on my mom to come get me, and then he just, well, not he, but I just saw like a gun figure in the side of my vision, and then I just got shot. Then I got back up, and me and Kamaje ran out.
The bullet that entered Wynn's face is still lodged inside of him.
It's right here, and I got shot right here. Then it traveled right here. And then they said they couldn't take it out because it was too close to, like, my temple at the time. But I don't know if it moved since then.
Can you feel it inside of you?
Yes.
What's it feel like?
I don't know. It felt like a real bad ache. Like when I yawn and open my jaw, it just felt like an ache.
Wynn did undergo some counseling after the shooting, but perhaps the biggest reason he's been able to pull through that nightmare night is the support system he has at East from his teammates, coaches, and other staff at the school.
We were just there for him. We just made sure we was there for him, and whenever he messed up or he made a mistake, we were just there for him to help pick him up.
He just gets through it every day, but I think a lot of it has to do with us keeping him busy. We just talk about people care about him, you know. The team cares about him, the coaches care about him, his teachers care about him, the school cares about him.
How important was it for you to play football and play sports again?
It was really big.
Did being around teammates and coaches kind of help you deal with the whole thing?
Yes. Every time something bad happens to me, Coach Griff come. Wherever I'm at, he come. Some more coaches come. And then they just very positive.
So I think a lot of our kids are resilient, but that kid's special, obviously, you know, when you go through the things that he's gone through.
You feel like you were lucky to survive that?
Yes, I feel like I was lucky. I feel like God gave me another opportunity.
Wynn has been through a lot. About a year ago, his family's home burned down too. So forget about wins and losses and stats in sports. It's the support I think that kids get from their teammates and coaches on a daily basis that matters the most.
Wynn is fortunate to have that support, and it's great to see him out there playing football and having fun again. We'll be right back after this final timeout.
Join us each Friday night at 11 o'clock on Fox 39 for Overtime. We have 2 more weeks to go.
And remember, you can find highlights and scores anytime by going to mystateline.com. That will do it for this show.
Enjoy your weekend, everybody.